someone else that you mentioned inspired you was the very first president of Tynwald, Sir Charles Carruth, and he's someone who he very much fought for political reform, didn't he? And he had very much fought for what was described as Manx self-determination. And I wonder, as he is someone that very much inspired you, how important those kinds of values are to you as well.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Sir Charles was fabulous in terms of how he would put over his argument, how he would wind it up, how he would instigate people and encourage people to have their say. He was very supportive of me when I was a member. I mean, I was 31 when I got in the keys. At the time, there weren't many people who got in at that age. And he was really very kind and very supportive of me trying to do what I do. And I think the important thing is that his determination to protect the island, to take it forward. And in fact, Manx Radio wouldn't be here only for Sir Charles and some of his colleagues fighting the British government back in those days. I mean, people forget, we had very little say in what we wanted to do back at that time. And he fought and kept going down to London to get the right to have a radio station. And not only have a radio station, but have a commercial one, which was unheard of by the British government, who, remember, closed down Radio Caroline and all these commercial radio stations. And, that sort of persistence, focus and understanding of what he wanted to do was something that I think I benefited from hearing him debate in the Key, well, not in the Keys because he was speaker, but in Tynwald, how he would put together his arguments, how he would really be quite strong when it was necessary. And I hope I picked up some of those skills from him. I certainly learnt a lot from him, and his firmness on sustaining and identifying our Manx culture, our unique heritage, the Viking heritage, our Celtic heritage, everything was really very strong. And I think that to some degree in recent years we've actually let that drift. And I do think we need to sort of focus far more on that, to try and encourage people, our own people, to understand what our heritage is about, and not just the heritage as in the built heritage, the castles and the things like that, which are important, but also the heritage we have that is unique in terms of the Viking heritage. Tynwald comes from the Vikings. We all recognise Tynwald Hill, but there's very little apart from the House of Manannan which tells us about the history of the Vikings in the Isle of Man. And Sir Charles was very, very strong in making sure that at every opportunity he emphasised that difference of the Isle of Man, why it's not part of the United Kingdom, why it is different, why the Isle of Man is unique, and of course protecting what we call Manxness. And I think we need to do more to do that, really. We have an identity, let's be proud of it.
I should ask you then, something that Stu's been talking about on his show today. There's been a brand new film released to promote the Isle of Man. I managed to show you a little bit of it before we came on air. It feels like that does represent some of what you're talking about.
Yes, absolutely. And I think that, it's the uniqueness. We can't compete with lots of the British resorts because those days have gone. They went a long time ago. They went 30 years ago. And we don't pretend that we can. What we can do, though, is compete because, one, we're an island, which has a slightly different nature than if you are in mainland UK. We have a lot of history that is unique. A lot of our history is developed because we had our own parliament and our own government, albeit back in the day headed up by the governor, but still retaining that uniqueness. And the island's countryside is magnificent. The place is not chock-a-block with cars and people. And there's a lot for people to see that's different. But we do desperately need investment in some of our infrastructure to make it even more attractive, to give people an experience which is unique. It is unique, the Isle of Man, in that way. And I have to say, if you go to Jersey or Guernsey, their heritage is unique and they attract people because of it. And we can do the same. So, our big thing is all round us, Scotland, Northern Ireland, Southern Ireland, England, Wales, are investing tens of millions of pounds in their heritage and tourism culture. We're not. And we're not even spending equivalent to what they're spending. We sometimes identify the money, but we actually don't invest it. And I think we need to really get to grips with investing. Again, we had a spurt of it 20 years ago. We need to have another spurt to bring us forward again. And we have so much here that really can attract families and people with different interests, and it's absolutely fabulous. Horse trams, electric trams, steam trains, they are needing major investment to keep them sustainable and to keep them attractive. And again, dare I say, have people dressed in a way that reflects the history of those unique railways and the horse trams, not just in modern day uniforms with maybe bright yellow Dayglow jackets on. I think, we need to be a little bit more conscious and careful how we actually invest and how we make these things work.